What's up? We are live today. And if you have any sort of negative item on your credit report, I'm going to show you how to remove it and how to write the easiest credit bureau dispute letter. Now, because we're live, I do have a couple of settings that I need to change, but I'm going to show you how to extract your negatives. We're going to talk about extracting your inaccuracies, how to choose the best inaccuracy or violation, and actually how to write that simple letter. Okay. Now, this will work if you have collections, if you have charge offs, if you have repos, if you have bankruptcies, if you have inquiries. I don't care what you have on your credit report. If there are negative items, there is a simple and easy and strategic way to remove them from your credit report. But you do need to write the letter in a very specific manner. Okay. So we're going to go and start with step number one. And you are going to want to stay to the end of this because if you don't follow all of the steps, right, you only follow a couple of the steps, it's not going to work. You literally have to follow every single step that I'm about to give you. And I promise you, you will be able to remove your negative items. Okay. Just make sure that you do all the actual steps. Okay. So let's get started. Now, I did scroll in or zoom in as much as I possibly could on here, but we're going to start with extracting all of our negatives. What that would look like is if we went over here and pretended that we had, a medical collection, we have another medical collection, we have a K Jewelers charge off, we have a credit acceptance repossession for $16,000, an apartment eviction, and a late payment on American Express. That's what it means to extract your negative information, right? It either means you don't have any other accounts or those are the only negative items that you have. We need to mark them down. And again, this is kind of for beginners. We're not talking about advanced stuff here, but that's step number one. Now that you have your negative items, you need to know kind of, which one's the most impactful to your credit report. So we're going to want to list them on our action plan. So most hurtful to my credit score would be K Jewelers, apartment eviction, and the credit acceptance repossession. Now, the middle one is going to be the late payment on American Express, and the least is going to be, of course, the medical collection. And if you do find value in this, you're going to want to make sure that you smash that like. And if you don't really want to handle any of this stuff, you can actually schedule a call with me at my740.com to see if I can do your credit sweep for you. All right. So our goal here with our sample accounts is to go from a 500 on Experian to a 640, a 496 on TransUnion to a 640, and on Equifax, a 505 to a 640. Now, just so you know, these are not fake accounts. These may be a sample for this video, but these are actual accounts and actual scores for a file that I did where I removed all these accounts and got the scores where they currently are. Well, actually, they're in the 700s, but we ended prior to going into our credit score program at 640. Okay, so now step number two is to extract all of the inaccuracies. Okay, so for these accounts, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. For these accounts, we had for the medical collection, it's basically unverifiable because, it didn't belong to the person, but you could say that something is unknown. You don't want to say it doesn't belong to you if it actually does. For the apartment eviction, they had different balances, such as zero, which to me, that says that it's paid, right? I mean, obviously. For credit acceptance, the high balance was lower than the balance, and the high balance is the highest balance the account ever was. So it can't be lower than the balance. That just doesn't make any sense. K Jewelers, 3 different dates last active, and it was actually 3 different dates last paid with 3 different years. Okay. The other medical collection, we used validation of debt method and unknown to the credit bureaus. And for the late payment on American Express, pretty simple. It was June 2020 on TransUnion. On on Experian, it was May 2020, and for Equifax, it was on time. Obviously, those are 3 totally different things. Okay. So now that we have extracted our inaccuracies, we need to choose the best. And we already did that when we went through the account inaccuracies. Okay. So if you want to learn more about the hierarchy and what is the most impactful to your credit report, I would just suggest heading over to my channel, youtube.com/ask-kristen. I have over 800 videos that show you exactly how to remove your negative items, how to categorize them, how to prioritize them, and how to use that to construct the best possible dispute reason. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to write our sample letter. And I made it super, 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 super simple. We want to put our name, we want to put our address, we want to put our date of birth, and we want to put our social. All right. We also want to put today's date. We are not putting a backdated date. Okay. One thing that you want to understand is that when you send your letter out to the bureaus, it's going to be read by a scanner, right? And when it's read by the scanner, that date is going to be what is reflected in the bureau's software, okay? It's not going to be the date that you put on the letter, okay? Also, if you're sending it certified, then that entire process wouldn't work anyways, and it would be totally contrary to what you're doing. Now, you're also going to want to put the bureau's name and the address on the letter itself. All right. So if we scroll out just a little bit so I can get to edit this. Here we go. See, we are actually going to put a very simple sentence. Now, you do have the option to put whatever you want on here, but I'm letting you know right now that unless you know what you're doing, you're not going to want to add in all of these laws. You do not want to make it law heavy. I mean, you can put pursuant to this and pursuant to that and USC codes, but don't do it if you don't know how to do it, okay? Because it's not going to work for you. It'll work against you. So if you need help writing your very first dispute letter or even your second or third letter, make it simple. I'm putting on here, please investigate the following inaccurate information on my credit report. I would also like to receive a new credit report after you've removed these items. Why are we saying this? Well, we're telling them what to do. We want them to remove it. We also want to receive a new credit report, right? So that's also going to tell us whether they investigate, whether they change any information, anything like that. We're going to know just by asking them this very specific information. Now, we need to go and take everything that we put into our disputes, or excuse me, that we're going to put in our disputes from our action plan into the actual letter. Okay. So that's why it says accounts right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the agero formula, and that is AJERO. And basically all that means is action, I can spell correctly, justifier, element, reason, and outcome. So action is delete, update, or remove, correct, whatever. Justifier is always because. Element is like date last paid, date last active, balance past due. Reason is because whatever, it's inaccurate because of these facts, such as 3 different dates, and then you put the dates. The outcome, that's generally for late payments. So an update to pay it on time, never late. Right? So that would be an outcome for that, or whatever the new status is. Okay, so using this formula that I've used over the last 4 years to remove over 50,000 negative items from credit reports. So yes, this works not 100% of the time. Nothing works 100% of the time. And anybody who tells you otherwise is 300% BSing you, okay? We're going to plug our information into this formula, all right? So let's just use, we'll use the American Express as an example. So we're going to put the creditor name. That's going to be Amex. Let's just say that it's 34999 because that's normally what American Express starts with. We're going to just put a hyphen, or you can just even drop it down to the next line. But just for this, we're going to put a hyphen here, and we're going to say, let's go back over here and look at this. What do we have for American Express? Remember, that is our middle priority account. So it's a late payment on American Express. And we said that we have 3 different dates, right? So if we go down to our letter planning, we're going to see that American Express, and I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on here, but I created this a while ago. Remove this late payment for inaccuracy because TransUnion reports June 2020 late, Experian reports May 2020 late, Equifax reports accurately the paid on time. So we can actually take this entire thing and paste it in if we wanted to. I'm not sure if I could do that on here. Maybe yes, edit. I'm going to just kind of copy this and see if I can transfer it over. And if I can, that would be really awesome. But you'll be able to see the you'll be able to see that this planning makes it significantly easier instead of just writing your letter from jump. Okay, so we're going to get rid of thank you on here because we already have it. Okay, this actually did work. So let me go and get out of this. I am done with this. So, what we did, if you're just joining me right now, we extracted our negatives from the credit report. We created an action plan from most hurtful to my report to mid to least. And then we also extracted the inaccuracies. And then we created our letter, right? Our letter planning. So these are going to be our using the agero formula, excuse me, these are our dispute reasons and we put them into our sample letter, okay? So normally I don't put a space in between each of these lines, but that is okay for this. We're going to get rid of this one line here and then we're going to have our full and total complete dispute letter. And then I'm going to break it down for you one more time. Now, this may be a little bit confusing as to why we would want such a simple dispute letter, but you have to remember that we're dealing with computers. We're not dealing with people. We are dealing with nothing but computers, and it's only extracting the information that it needs to know where to and how to categorize your dispute. We want to make it easy if you don't know how to quote unquote beat the OCR and EOSCR and all that kind of stuff. We need to make it super simple. So now that we have this together, we have our personal information at the top, name, address, date of birth, social, date, bureau name, and address. We have a one-liner. Please investigate the following inaccurate information on my credit report. I would also like to receive a new credit report after you've removed these negative items, okay? Actually, I should say inaccurate. I added that in. So we have our K Jewelers account. Delete this account because 3 different dates last active, date, date, date. You're not going to put date, date, date. You are going to extract that information from your credit report just as we did in step number 1. And it's actually step number 3, excuse me, account inaccuracies. You're going to put that in there. Credit acceptance, delete this account because the high balance is lower than the balance. And again, the high balance should be equal to or higher than the balance. The apartment eviction, delete for inaccuracy because the balance is 0 on TransUnion and Equifax and Experian report $3,000, which means that, I mean, just the way that I'm looking at it, this should actually report as paid, right? That's definitely an inaccuracy. American Express, remove the late payment for inaccuracy because TransUnion reports June 2020 late, Equifax and on time and Experian May 2020. And you can also add that outcome in here. Remember for late payments, when you're removing the late payment to make it look as if you had never paid late, you're going to put an outcome on here. So if we wanted to add an outcome to this, it would be so that I paid on time, and we're going to put and update to paid on time, never late. And you can add in for inaccuracy if you didn't already have the word inaccuracy prior to the justifier, okay? Medical collection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This account is unknown and needs to be deleted from my credit report. Remember, they will not be able to verify this, okay? And you're also going to want to use the validation of debt method for this, and that's actually what I used to remove over 150 collections reported to multiple bureaus. So it came out to 450 negative items from one person's credit report in less than 2.5 months, including a bankruptcy from all 3 bureaus. Okay. I used not for the bankruptcy, but for the 450 negative items that I removed, the validation of debt method. So does it work? Yes, it most definitely does. In addition to disputing with the bureaus like this. So medical collection, and this is medical collection B. I don't know what this is. Delete this unverifiable account. Why am I saying unverifiable? Because I mean, what does a collection agency actually receive? They get what? Your name, the original creditor, your address, stuff like that. They don't get any sort of documentation, okay? So that is why we're asking for specific things that we know either they're not going to have or we're already telling them what to do because we already know that they're not going to have it. Does that make sense? If it does, smash that like, all right? And you're going to definitely want to subscribe so that you know how to remove your negative items. Subscribe to learn how to remove your negative items. Another thing is that you can actually get my biggest credit sweep secrets at getmysecrets.ask-kristen.com. Now, you may be thinking, well, Kristen, this is great and all, but I mean, this is just way too simple. They're not just going to, remove my negative items just because I'm sending like a one-liner. And I mean, sorry to tell you, but not so sorry. Yes, they are. this is not a one hitter quitter type of thing. I mean, we do have a goal of removing the eviction repo charge off in less than 9 months, right? We want to remove our late payment in less than 6 months and remove collections in less than 4 months. And of course, raise our credit scores 140 points in less than 12 months. How do we do that? Well, it's not with a one hitter quitter. It does not exist like that. And if it did, do you think I'd have over 800 videos explaining to you how to do this the right way? No, I would just say, do this one time and that's it. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. No, honey, it doesn't work like that. Okay. There wouldn't be 68 million people with bad credit. All right. And hey, guess what? I would just go to every dealership, every loan officer. I'd go all over the place and I would literally be the richest person on the face of this planet. And obviously, I'm not. I'm here making videos with you and for you. Okay. So, we need to know that this is going to take a little bit of time, right? That's why we set our goals so that we know in April or May or June, we're going to be able to go out and, get a car because this credit acceptance repossession for $16,000 is not going to be on there anymore. Or that we're going to be able to do XYZ or increase our score to a 640 and then go get a mortgage because these things aren't going to be on here. So you have to plan accordingly because you know that this is going to take a couple of months to do X and then a couple of more months to do Y and then a couple of months to complete it after that to do Z. Okay. So, is this going to be easy? No, it's definitely not going to be easy, especially if you're going from a 496 on TransUnion to, try to get to a 640, but it is most definitely possible. And I'm here today to tell you that if you follow these instructions and you do this exactly as I've told you, where you extract all your negatives, extract all your inaccuracies from those negatives, choose the best inaccuracy or the violation, write your simple dispute letter, write the agero dispute reason into your very simple dispute letter. If you don't know how to use USC codes properly for privacy violations and personal information, then you will be able to remove these. Okay. I do it all the time. I do this all day long. I do not have a side job. I do not have a day job. I do not have a night job. This is what I do. I remove negative items from consumer credit reports, and I am really, really, really good at it. And my job is to show you exactly how to do the same. So can you? Yes. Follow these steps. Okay. And if you're just joining me right now, we will go over these steps one last time. All right. You are very simply going to go to your credit report. You are going to extract your negative items. You are going to find in each of these negative items after you create a action plan right here, right, where you're categorizing them. And you're going to say, hey, these are my current scores. This is where I want to go. These are my most difficult, my mid, and my least. Then you're going to go and you're going to extract your inaccuracies per each of those accounts, such as K Jewelers has 3 different dates last active or different dates last paid. Okay. Then for each of your accounts, you're going to plug all of these inaccuracies into the agero formula. The agero formula is action, justifier, element, reason, outcome. You are then, my friend, going to take all of these dispute reasons you created. You're going to stick them into a very simple dispute letter that says anything along the lines of, this is why I wrote the letter. This is what I want you to do. Here are the inaccurate accounts on my credit report. And then, my friend, you are going to send this out to the credit bureaus. You can even fax it to the bureaus. Why? Because that fax transmission is admissible in court. How do you like that one? All right. So then you're going to wait. Yes, you have to wait. That is the suckiest part of everything. You are going to have to wait 30 days. So you're going to wait 30 days from the date that you sent it certified, or wait 30 days, 34 days if you send it by regular mail. You're going to pull a new report. You are then going to, this is very, 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 very simple, but it is very, very, very important. So you better pay attention here. I'm going to give you the key to doing this. So you're going to want to stay just a couple of minutes longer. You're going to pull a new report, and I want you to smash the like after you hear this. If you didn't know it, you're going to wait 30 days, wait 34 days. If you did not send it certified mail, pull a new report, and you are going to check for the notice of dispute. It's going to be in the comment section, okay? In that comment section, it should say something along the lines of disputed by consumer. Anything that says that the account was disputed. If it is not there by the 30th day, right? The 30th day. So technically you would actually send it regular mail, wait 34 days on that 30 fifth day, pull your report. And if you sent it certified, you're going to send it. And then on that 31st day, okay? So if it's not there, you are going to hit them with a violation. So this is going to be a violation of section 623 of the FCRA, where it says that the bureaus, are required to enter the required notice of dispute within 38 days after the date that they received your first dispute, not second dispute, not third dispute. And I don't care if they only update every 60 days. They are in violation of the FCRA, and you can hit them with that violation and you can get every single negative item removed. Okay. That is one of the reasons why you're going to want to send it certified. But if you don't, it's very simple. You have your first report, you have your letter, and you have your second report to prove that they did not enter the notice of dispute. Okay. That is the key to the dispute process for credit sweeps. If you didn't know that, like I said, smash the like. All right. So if you want to find out if I can do your credit sweep for you, like I said, head over to my740.com. Because why? Because I do this for a living and I know what I'm doing and I get the deletions. If you want to learn more about fixing your credit, you can go over to getmysecrets.ask-kristen.com. Okay. There's a bunch of cheat sheets there and it'll help you to be able to remove your negative items. But today was a very, very simple live where we created this dispute letter together based off of these very, very simple few steps. And I think I'm going to end it there. But if you have questions about anything, once this turns into a replay, you can add your comment, or you can go to any of my other videos and drop a comment. And I do try to answer every single one of my comments. All right. So that is it for today. I will see you later. And I hope you have a wonderful, prosperous week and that you hit those bureaus where it hurts. All right. So I will see you later.